And he told me these two words: confidence equals success. It's all internal work.
Yeah.
The outside is just the cream of the crop. People think I'm going to have a nice car and be confident. I'm going to have a nice clothes, a watch, but that goes away. You always want something that's human.
I want to relay that question that you asked me in the street interview. What makes you
Yeah.
confident?
Knowing I have a new opportunity every day really to achieve my goal because, and I want to elaborate on this, August 30th, 2020, when I was involved in a major car accident. I got hit by a fire truck.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Podcast. As always, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support, and thank you guys for showing love on every single episode. I have a guest with me today, David Carmi. I met him at the gym, and this is a Mr. 1%, Mr. Confidence. As you go by Mr. Confidence,
Bam.
started your own social media profiles, inspiring people with confidence, which I think it's incredible to want to give that light to other people, because sometimes people haven't really grown up with, confidence, maybe from past or childhood or whatever it may be. And for you to instill it into others over the platforms that you have close to 11,000 followers on Instagram, close to, I think it was at 30,000 on TikTok now.
Almost 20.
Almost 20.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Getting there.
inspiring people, you've met people, and even knowing you for a brief period of time, seeing the confidence over a couple months, couple weeks, as I've known you over a couple months now, it's incredible to see. So I just want to say thank you for coming on, and thank you for giving these people a platform to speak your truth and speak about your life and how confidence has impacted you and how you kind of want to inspire with confidence.
My pleasure. Avi, thank you for having me on the pod. And I can't wait to share with your followers and let alone the new people who join your journey to, bring confidence to the world and bring motivation. And just like one word can inspire somebody. You never know.
Yeah. So why confidence? Why was the overall theme? Was it something during childhood maybe that maybe you lacked a little bit of confidence, or was it something that kind of pointed to the North Star that said that this is where I want to go and kind of how I want to live in my purpose?
I didn't even know why the direction confidence wasn't a thing in my head. Like, let alone I didn't even know what the word confidence meant. So it started, I think, like everything else with childhood, probably underlying issues or, from a bunch of schools that I went to, even things that I wasn't even aware of that was happening to me was, the cause of the suffering of confidence. And let alone the confidence journey started when I was in Florida with my grandfather and an attractive girl passed by. And I guess he noticed how I immediately shyly turned away. And he came over to me that night and he's like, I saw you turn away. And he was telling me, you should start working on your confidence. And he told me these two words: confidence equals success. And that just stuck with me till today. I mentioned to you before. As time went on, I picked up journaling, over the time, not right away. I picked up journaling. He actually bought me a book. He's like, start reading this book. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read it a month ago. I read it again. And this went on. I started journaling more and more or less started really finding something was cooking up from the journaling. I was able to get ideas out of my head. And time went on until August 30th, 2020, when I was involved in a major car accident. I got hit by a fire truck. That night I vividly remember it took me back to more or less childhood, because all the problems sort of came back. I was stuck home for a year, going to doctors 4 times a week, not knowing which direction to go. So not having somebody to talk to about it. So you can only imagine all these ideas and thoughts and negative thoughts, positive thoughts, so much going on in your head. And then I remember that I started journaling. I was like, maybe I can start journaling again because I took time from that off. Maybe start journaling again to put those ideas down and really figure out how I could just get out of this and how could I get out of my bubble. So, you fast forward some time and I went to Soho one day with my brother one Sunday. I guess he wanted to go shopping. And I was like, this place is, I guess it was maybe subconsciously, this place, I don't know, I felt something. And I started going back. And I remember I went back and it was like in the middle of the week. I went back and I sat in the Starbucks and I just, with my journal and wrote down and wrote down. And, going back, it's very good. I should go back more often in those times. I would introduce myself to maybe the barista because I wasn't able to do that before. I wasn't able to introduce myself. I had problems even eating in a restaurant because I wasn't comfortable. I would introduce myself slowly by slowly. I would say hello, say thank you, and then even someone sitting next to me in the cafe, and it just went on and just built everything. I think built from one link to another link, and then it just kept building. And then I just started walking the streets, and there was no confidence. The idea of confidence wasn't there yet. So that came after. I was like, after my grandfather said inspiring the world with no, he said confidence equals success. That came back to me, and I was like, let me actually, no, it was a friend of mine who told me you should start doing street interviews or interviewing people on the street, however he worded it. But I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I told him I'll do it, but I wasn't comfortable doing it. So I told him, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then a couple of weeks go by, and I said, you know what? Let me give it a shot. And this is where it gets very interesting because I don't know about anyone, but getting rejected versus getting rejected by a stranger is totally different. And I still remember the first time me getting rejected. Oh man, it hit me. It really, really hit me. I would get rejected, and for like 3 hours, I would walk around Soho, not getting any more interviews. I wasn't able to. So I would walk around till 5 p.m., head back home, and then I would come back the next day and I would repeat the same thing for, what was it, a year and change, until obviously the more you do repetition, you get better. And, I started believing in myself more. I started thinking, oh, I have some value to provide. And funny thing is, I started learning from what people gave me. So it sort of built data, what people's answers. I started like studying what they said, and oh, let me apply this. Let me try this. Affirmations. They said, what was affirmations? And one thing led to another and led to another. And here I am today,
Hmm.
not letting rejection get in my way, not letting anything really stop me. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's one quote that I heard of that, and a lot of people could probably attest to this, but rejection is God's protection. So anytime you are rejected, anytime something says maybe no to you, right? So, for example, you want to have this good job, or you apply for this job, and or you may try to do this thing in terms of your dream, or in terms of maybe asking a girl, and you get rejected.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's protection in that. And I don't think we really see it sometimes because we are so nearsighted on, well, I got rejected because I'm not good enough. But at the end of the day, that might not even be the case.
All right.
You might have not got rejected because of that beautiful girl that you're trying to see, or, that wonderful guy you're trying to see, or because you're not good enough, or you're not worthy of success. I think sometimes we get that idea misconstrued that if I got rejected, I'm not good enough. But that's not always the case.
No.
God may have bigger and better plans for you maybe next week, maybe the next time you go to Soho, or maybe the next time you go out, you meet the girl of your dreams.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next time you apply for that job that you think that you might get rejected from, you actually get accepted. Or maybe the message that you send to collaborate with another artist or somebody else on Instagram or social media, they want to do it. And it's always the thousand no's before the one yes.
Yeah.
You have to get rejected 1,000 times to be okay with the rejection 1,000 times, but then there might be that one time where that person says yes.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. All it takes is one yes for your life to completely change.
Yeah.
Whether it's a street interview, Adam Sandler stops and he actually takes the time to just talk to you about confidence.
Yeah.
That's one yes.
The Adam Sandler thing, actually, I was on the corner of Prince Street and Soho in Lafayette. I just got rejected by some lady, older lady. She told me no. As I turn around, who do I see? Adam Sandler. So I was like, bam, that video got millions of views.
Right.
But it's just funny how you were saying, like, 1,000 rejections and then one yes could really, bam.
It's literally the one yes, and we're so, and it's easy to get caught up on the no's,
Yeah.
It's incredibly easy to beat yourself up about it, but all it really takes is that one person to say yes, and everything else can change after that.
It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
How crazy it is.
And I don't think sometimes we think how crazy this actual world is. You know what I mean? In terms of how everything works out in its favor, or how everything is supposed to work out. I never go to the gym. I never meet you.
Yeah.
I go to the gym. I never meet my girlfriend. I go to the gym. I never meet people that have incredibly changed my life.
It's nuts.
And it's like, where does all of it come from?
Yeah.
We can't sort, or we can't put our finger on, well, where does all of this come from?
Yeah.
And I guess something I kind of want to know in that thought with the rejection is, why was rejection so hard for you?
I think lack of belief in myself.
Yeah.
Thinking that I was a nobody. Because I think going through so many schools, and I'm not blaming it on anyone. I don't blame anything on anyone, like my family, nothing. I love everyone. But now that I look back on it from a more mature perspective, I think it was a steps to get to where I am now. Obviously, you didn't look at it as the same back when you were in it. But yeah, going through so many schools, seeing different people at such a young age, not fitting in with the crowd, getting bullied was such a bam, it hit me.
Yeah.
Physically bullied, mentally, verbally bullied. My mother had to come down to school one time because somebody hit me and pinned me to the wall. I remember that. That's why I started kind of getting into working out. And I always tell people, and I'm just telling people because, I did it. If you struggle with like getting bullied, or you struggle with any problem in the gym, go to the gym. Anything. Go. You must do some sort of activity, martial arts, working out with weights, cardio, anything. So the rejection, I think, was from there. And, not everyone's journey is the same. Not everyone starts from the same place, but it's more or less the same. You really want to work to the same goal. Like, you want to be someone that can overcome rejection and be okay with rejection. I get rejected every day. And the more I do it, the better I get. Never going to be perfect, but you get better every day. Like you said, 1% better every day. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. 1% better every day, really.
Why did you keep showing up to Manhattan, Soho, knowing that there was this underlying fear that was still there, that was still lingering? Why did you? What was it that made you just to keep showing up?
Because if I stayed in Brooklyn, I was somewhat comfortable with Brooklyn. Being in Manhattan, it was a place where I never really traveled to, or let alone walk the actual streets by myself. So. And being sober, because if I was in the streets, I would be at bars at night or whatever with all the friends. So being sober during the day with the intention of stopping people, strangers in the street, was something that was fearful for me. So I knew if I needed to grow, I needed to face these challenges, like with the gym. there's challenges. You push heavier weights and you grow and you push more and more, and there's progress being made. So the same thing with this. I more or less applied the same thing to what I was doing, and it kind of led me into a position where now the rejection doesn't phase me, it makes me stronger. Um, and yeah, I just look forward to doing what I do. And yeah, no one's perfect. You're faced with the thing of, oh, should I just give up? You losing followers. Your followers aren't growing. You blame it on the. Let me just, And for a while, I've been doing this for a year and a half. You could even go back to my first videos. I wasn't talking. I was trying to talk like other people, trying to be other people, not really trying to be myself. And it wasn't up until maybe a few months ago, I don't remember the exact month, where, I'm just going to do me, and I'm going to just continue on this path of trying to be authentic and really trying to just follow what I'm doing and not following the trends and not following other people. Because it's very hard not to compare yourself to other people. I do now sometimes, not, it's much better now, but I still find myself comparing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Being okay with that is okay. Don't be too hard on yourself.
So what was it? What did you feel in that uncomfortable state? Could you kind of take us through a little bit of what you were feeling? Obviously, like I said, showing up every day was one thing, but what was that feeling of, besides the rejection? What was that underlying feeling, that the uncomfortable feeling, you still just went towards it?
Honestly, it's funny because knowing that if I give up, what are people going to think about me? So that really was in the back of my head. Knowing that if I keep going, it'll work out. Knowing, these nerves that I'm feeling right now, and on the street, walking the streets, there's so much nerves and emotions in my body that, telling me to go home, it's okay. You don't have to get one more interview, but really resisting against that, pushing myself to get that one more interview, and getting that interview and feeling the sense of relief and happiness from just getting that one interview, after you're faced with those battles in your head saying, no, it's okay, you don't need to get it. But now looking back on it, if I didn't get those one interview, I would still be struggling. I would still be in that same spot. So in order for me to get out of that, I had to get that one interview that was challenging for me. So not listening to those negative thoughts in my head, and not listening to those voices or whatever, those nerves, those emotions, really pushing out of it, being present, and just getting it. That's what I was feeling in that moment on the street, like a year ago.
What do you believe makes confidence? Like, if you could have a list, or you can have a pillar of like what makes a person confident, what would that list look like to you?
Like the recipe for confidence?
Yeah, what would that look like?
I wouldn't say it's only dressing good. Obviously, it's
Comes in here with the
the college shirt. Listen, we try it, but it's it's like a Band-Aid. If you're not confident and you're just gonna dress up, it's not gonna last. It's inside. That's why I say journaling is one of the best, because you're able to write down and see. So you have the journaling, then you have physical activity, because it does something to the body where it releases a chemical that, this, I don't know exactly what it does.
It's oxytocin. It's either oxytocin or dopamine, one of the two.
That really, puts you into alignment and where you are and what your purpose is, and you'll figure out all that stuff from working out. It's gym, working out, preparation. I wouldn't talk on something that I'm not educated on. If I'm not educated on it, I'm not educated on it. I'm willing to learn. And that's really it. It's not overcomplicating things, not overthinking. Try not to overthink, and belief in God or whatever higher power you believe in. Because I believe it's impossible to achieve something with greatness without any sort of higher power.
Yeah. It's interesting because when we did the street interview, you asked me what makes me confident, and I guess the more I break it down, I think it's the more that you're, and hearing the way that you're describing it in terms of authenticity, in terms of a lot of self-love, in terms of giving to yourself, physically, in terms of journaling, which is a lot of spiritual and emotional work, meditating, all of the above. It seems that it's it's a recipe with a little bit of hardship,
Mm,
a little bit of struggle, but also a lot of internal work.
yeah. A lot of internal work.
A
I think
lot.
it's all internal work.
Yeah.
The outside is just the cream of the crop.
Right.
Like, people think I'm gonna have a nice car and be confident. I'm gonna have a nice clothes, a watch. But that goes away. You always want something better. It's
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
But
And a little bit of hardship.
yeah,
And being able to,
struggle,
yeah, I think the way
struggle.
that you know that you're confident is if how well are you able to, how able are you to overcome your struggles, to overcome maybe your shortcomings, to overcome that trauma?
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, overcoming all of that is still internal work
yeah,
because it's a battle with yourself. You're having like an internal conflict, an internal war with yourself. Once you overcome that, well, what else could I do? You only tap into a little bit of your mental power
yeah,
and willpower.
yeah,
That once you overcome this, well, what's the next task I could do? What else am I maybe afraid of, or what else maybe am I uncomfortable to do? That now, knowing that my mental is strong enough to overcome this, what else could I do? And it's a little bit of curiosity. I feel as if you're curious to know, well, what else could I do?
right.
And it's having that curious thought and into action, to knowing that as I did this, I can do others. Or as I did this, I can be able to feel better about myself, to know that if I get rejected or if I get maybe neglected in some way, that I'll be okay.
Yeah,
And I think it's just maybe a little bit of that recipe, the mental, the internal, in terms of emotional, the physical, and the struggle that kind of, I guess, formulates this being of confidence.
yeah.
Um,
It's a lot mental. I think it's 95% mental.
yeah,
It's facing a problem, overcoming it, and going on the next. Facing a problem, overcoming, going on the next, and then just build as a stepping stool. Don't compare yourself to other people, because when you compare yourself to other people, you're not focused on you. So you're not going to grow. It's going to be more miserable. You're going to be more depressed, more anxious, more anxiety. Everything's going to build. And before you know it, you piled up all these problems for yourself just by looking at someone else instead of focusing that energy on you. Because you only have a certain amount of energy in a day where you're provided with. So you could focus on someone else or focus on you.
yeah. Either or.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. What were some of the what was some of the internal dialogue that you faced? You said that when you journaled,
Mm-hmm.
you were able to write it down and able to look at it, able to take a step
Yeah.
back. What was some of that internal dialogue that you would see?
Like from journaling,
Yeah, like was a lot of it negative, or was it more or less you were just writing how your days were?
it was in the beginning when I first started journaling, it was more of like, okay, today I did this, that. Like, but as it went on, I changed it to more like pinpoints. Okay, I achieved this. I did this. I want to achieve this. So more goals. And then when I would overcome it, I can look back and it would motivate me, because you would forget it if you had it in your head and not write it down. So that's why I give a lot of grace to journaling, because it got me started. It really helped me a lot to get to where I am now with confidence, with um, having conversations with people, being comfortable in my own skin, um, just everything,
Yeah.
everything,
Hmm.
and I just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's really where it breaks down to. As far as that, there's so much out there, information wise, that where you could find if someone that's struggling to find their purpose and passion. I think by looking at all these gurus and stuff, it could confuse you, because he says this, he says that, she says that, she says this. Instead of really being one with yourself, which will help you tremendously. It's very uncomfortable. Like I think most people can't be with themselves with a quiet room, no phone or nothing. But that's when the best ideas come. Like I put my phone away on Shabbat, Saturday, and the best ideas can come to me because I don't have my phone.
Because it's a lot of dopamine when you're scrolling. That's what you're
Yeah,
getting. You're getting the instant
I
gratification, the
scroll
dopamine.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, we all do. I do.
yeah,
I'm guilty of it as well.
yeah,
But that's the reason why people are so addicted to it. It's because of the feeling that it gets. Like there's studies done that when people scroll on their phone, it's the same thing as you get the same dopamine rush
yeah.
as you would from like porn,
Well,
or you get the same dopamine rush from using drugs. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's the same. It's the same thing, and it's crazy because of when we use that, right? It's I have like mixed feelings on the use of social media, and I think it can be used for very good things. You know,
yeah,
obviously like this collaboration, getting to know people that you maybe have never thought you would contact, but it's also incredibly detrimental if you are not being careful of the mindless scrolling. And I think sometimes you got to let your mind wander a little bit.
yeah,
Sometimes you have to let your mind scroll because if it wants to scroll, I mean it's gonna scroll.
yeah.
You're not gonna try to force away something that you want to do
Right.
because ultimately you're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah,
You know, it's like doing less of it. If you want to wake up earlier, you have to wake up maybe 1 minute earlier every day in order to get to the desired time. If you want to go to the gym, we'll just maybe start out with 30 minutes and then gradually increase. And I think scrolling on your phone is the same way where if you can decrease your time of usage over time, I think that it'll be a lot more beneficial for not only the fogginess in your mind, but you'll, like you said, have a lot more
clarity.
clarity.
Yeah,
And in terms, start to be more mindful. You'll start
yeah,
to maybe pick up on things that you may have not thought about doing. You know, you'll be more present. And when you're constantly scrolling, you're not even present at all. You won't even know what time it is. You know, you're just scrolling. You're like,
yeah.
I've been on it for 2 hours already.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
And it's like I'm watching, 30, 45 minutes of something, and I'm scrolling on these 7-second videos, and lo and behold, it's already 8 p.m.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's crazy
Yeah.
how that literally can happen. So what was the kind of thing for you that made you want to be more intentional with your time and made you want to be more intentional with your energy?
The car accident,
Yeah.
showing that time is very limited and anything can happen at any moment, um, taught me a lot. Taught me a lot. You know, Told me how to handle it, like be present with time. It told me to value every moment, like everything with time, because time is precious. Just without the accident, I wouldn't be someone that knew who I was or know what I want to do. I don't know what I would be doing, and it gave me, I think, an opportunity looking from now, almost 4 years ago, and this gave me this opportunity to do what I do now and inspire the world with confidence.
Don't you think it's weird that something like that has to happen in order for some of us to appreciate life, like something as
Crazy.
tragedy as an accident?
It's nuts. Eh, and sometimes nothing crazy has to happen for you to change.
Mm.
I heard that from someone. I can't remember who, but nothing crazy has to change. You have the choice to change. It's in your hands.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out what's stopping you. And different for everybody. Is it the alcohol? Is it the friends? The drugs? Whatever it is.
Do you use the crutches
Yeah.
that are stopping you? We're addicted to the feeling that we get from these things.
Yeah.
The substances, the mindless dating or the mindless hookup culture that we now have.
Yeah.
It's a crutch.
It's a disease.
Oh man.
It's a disease.
I think even more than that, you're imprisoned by it.
Yeah. So when I used to go out to these clubs every Saturday night, Thursday night, drinking 3-4 times a week, I fake confidence, of course, but I was able to go up to the girls and everything. Now that I have I would say I have some confidence. It's the biggest challenge when I approach a girl in the street and not ask for her number and not ask for, for anything else. Because I know that God gave me this confidence and I want to use it in the right way, not in the wrong way. Because I know if I could just go the one way, I'll never come back. I'll just keep going down that rabbit hole. So now that I'm drinking, maybe I have a little wine once a week, which is okay. You could have fun, enjoy a little, but moderation.
Right.
It's so good not to drink 3-4 times a week, wake hangover, the whole next day is ruined. It's the best feeling to get over that.
How big of a part do you believe that? Two-part question. How big of a part do you think that confidence plays in your romantic relationships? And how has confidence impacted your romantic relationships now?
I think it has a big part because you're able to know who you are. And being in a relationship, I think it's very important to know who you are, because then how you know to choose the right person in the first place, and how maybe you're not going to question yourself. You're confident in who you are. And for me, I'm not in a relationship right now. I was never really in a romantic relationship. Hopefully soon. But I think for me, it's really knowing who I am to the best of my ability, because I'm sure I don't know who I am fully yet, but I'm getting there every day. But I think it definitely helps on getting to know who you are. And I heard this saying where a confident person can walk into a room and be quiet because deep down they know who they are inside. It's always that person that you see in the room that is the ego, loud, big mouth. Oh, look at me and look at me. They're not confident. That's not confidence. That's arrogant ego. So if you can walk into a room and you know your value and not willing to yell it out, because you learn the most that way.
Yeah. There was a quote. I'm trying to think. I said it to one of my friends the other day. A person, I might botch it, but to know the distinguishing factor between somebody who's confident and somebody who's not confident, as you said, when somebody walks into a room, a confident person speaks when he has something to say, and the unconfident person. No, wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. What was it? I think it was a confident person speaks when he's spoken to, and an unconfident person speaks when they just have simply something to say.
It's all uncomfortness in you.
Yeah.
That just like it shoots out like
Man,
a
I wish
rapid
I had the
fire.
quote. I would have been able. It's such a banger of a quote, but it's so true.
It'll come out. I don't want to disturb you on that.
It's the loudest person in the room is not always the most wise, or
No.
the most calm or intelligent person in the room. It's usually the people that are the quietest, because I guess to that point, it's like they only speak when they have something valuable to say. Somebody who's loud just speaks whenever they have the chance to speak.
Wow.
So whenever they're given the chance to speak, they'll speak. But the wise person will be in the back corner and they'll just say a one-liner and everybody will just stop.
And you'll feel better about yourself when you do that, because I know I used to be a loud person, try to like arrogant and try to be someone who I wasn't, because of the influence that I was hanging around the people that were trying to make me that way. And you would go home, you feel like crap. Oh, I should have never said that. I should have not. What do they think of me when they said it? And it's like, oh, like it doesn't end. It's like a rapid fire of just stuff. But, hopefully everyone will get to a point where you could feel the feeling of not needing to say anything. Just listen. And I'm learning to listen. Listen more.
Even better quote that I have for you. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should always speak less than what we listen. So we have 2 ears for a reason. So we should listen twice more than we ever speak.
Wow. That's powerful.
We're able to hear. We can be able to listen, but not many people are good active listeners, though, because it takes a lot to active listen. Like a podcast takes a lot to active listen, because, for example, if you're speaking, I may have a thought. Now I have to put that thought away. I have to compartmentalize that thought to be able to be here with you. And then as you're speaking, another thought might come up.
Yeah.
But nobody is active listening is a skill, because you're not you're not listening to respond. You're listening to understand. You're listening to answer.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm.
So you're listening to, in a sense, you are listening to respond, and you're just not sitting here and waiting for your chance to speak, and then you're not even listening to what that person is telling you.
No, it's a conversation.
Yeah,
It's you're bouncing off each other. Like you said something, and then I'm gonna bounce off on that, and then it just goes back and forth like ping pong.
yeah, and I don't think that's really talked about much. That how impactful active listening or listening in general
Hmm.
can really be, and I think it can help your confidence a lot more.
I'm trying to be a better listener. It's a skill, obviously. It's a very important, but I think not as looked at skill.
Yeah.
Another quote that helps me is, "What's the worst that could happen?" What's the worst that's gonna happen if you put yourself in a dangerous situation and saying what's the worst that's gonna happen, then you're stupid. But if you say what's the worst that's gonna happen and you more or less know what you're getting yourself into, it'll help you a lot. If it doesn't work out, you can try again or you can move on to something else, but you tried. And another quote by Matthew McConaughey, that's how you spell his
Yeah.
name. Don't half-ass it. He said that, and that really hit because I don't want to wake up in 40 years and saying, what if I really put in my all on the project that I was chasing on my craft 30 years ago, 40 years ago? How would it have turned out? So just do it now, and you don't have to have that worry in the future.
Yeah. Regret.
Regret? Oh, I'm scared of regret.
Yeah.
I'm scared of regret.
Why?
I don't want to regret anything. I don't want to wake up in 30 years and regret that I didn't try.
But don't you think that? Do you think that regret is inevitable though? Because the two paths. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes the butterfly effect. Like if I chose this happened. I didn't choose this happened.
Yeah.
Do you think regret can be inevitable though?
I mean, if you continue to do the right thing, wherever you end up is what's meant for you. But at the same time, you're presented with opportunity and you didn't do it and you chose not to do it, then I think regret could really affect you or some people. And maybe some people regret affects more than others. But me personally, I think I'm scared of regret. Yeah. But I try my best to do what I have in mind to do and with a purpose, just to help people. And this journey that I'm on was personal to make me become a better person. When maybe the next thing instead of street interviews will be public speaking. That's something I want to do. Am I there yet? I think so. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I'll be presented with an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd. And now it doesn't have to be a crowd of 100 people. It could be 1,000 people because I've built the level of confidence to the point where I know I can do that.
Yeah. What do you feel like your purpose is besides teaching people confidence? Like, is there an underlying something? Is there something underlying that you feel like is I teaching confidence
Yeah.
or helping people gain confidence is something, but do you feel like there's something else underlying that you might feel purposeful?
Living for me, not for other people. Not doing things because I got influenced by someone. I want to do it because I want to do it. Being a kinder person to myself, being kind to everyone. Those things go a long way to be a kind person to everyone. Give people a time of day. You respect me, I'll respect you. And if not, then there can't be a friendship or relationship because there's no respect. But yeah, just trying to be a better person every day. I think that's really the mission for me now. Learning to like myself more. Learning to do good, whatever good is, and that's really it. But then it breaks down on the passion that fires me up every day. That gets me going.
Yeah. So you'd want to teach other people to be good people. That's essentially.
Yeah.
Besides, obviously, what you do now, is there any other endeavors that you've thought about besides public speaking, what you just thought about? Or maybe you have planned, but you haven't really spoken about?
Maybe a podcast. Maybe a podcast one day. Really like letting it flow, not rushing the process. Like you said, I met you in the gym. It was meant to be. I met you there. You've met certain people in the gym that just happened to fall out perfectly in the time. Um, just I know if I continue doing what I'm doing now, learning from other people that are doing better than me, I know that opportunity will present itself, and that time will come where I get this opportunity and that. What will it be? I don't know. But obviously, I have the ideas of public speaking, writing a book, um, but all things to do with this. Being a figure to help people. I think that's where I will feel fulfilled. Not doing it for the money. I'm not chasing the money. Obviously, you need money to live. Don't get me wrong. Can't lie about that. But if I'm just gonna chase the money,
Yeah.
it's never ending. There's too much money out there.
Way too much.
Too much money out there. It's like, what? You have $1 million, now you're happy?
Yeah. I want to relay that question that you asked me in the street interview. What makes you
Yeah.
confident?
Knowing I have a new opportunity every day really to achieve my goal, because, and I want to elaborate on this, it's now is the present moment. Yesterday was the past, and tomorrow is a mystery. But really focusing on the present moment, knowing that I can achieve my goal, knowing that I woke up with two legs and a clear mind and ability to go and do what it is I'm doing, gives me another opportunity today. That's what really gets me going and fired up to do exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
To get out there. That's what makes me confident.
I think that that's the most important thing. I think that a lot of people, you hear people talk about, when I don't love it anymore, that's when I'll stop. And I think that's really how you know you're on your purpose. If you wake up every day with a fire that you want to achieve the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
That, like, when you wake up and your main focus is, for me, is to help people grow 1% better every day. But more importantly, help myself grow 1% better every day. Because if I can do this for myself, then the proof is in the pudding for other people to believe it.
Yeah.
And if I wake up wanting to be 1% better every day, then other people will want to grow 1% better every day. Like, it all starts with you.
Yeah.
Everything starts with you. The thought, the dream starts with you. The change starts with you. The failed relationship and you want a healthier relationship starts with you. The success that you want to achieve starts with you. Like, everything starts with you.
It's crazy. People are expecting someone to come and help them, but in reality, it's you getting yourself out and getting yourself up and moving forward. That's you. Along the way, people will help you, but the start, no one can help you if you don't want to help yourself.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
I think help is okay, though. But I think help in collaboration and wanting to do something together is okay. But when the blame or the point of emphasis is on everybody else, and you start to shift that, and you start to take a less accountability, like, you're in control of your life. Every day you wake up, you're in control of your life.
Yeah.
You have a choice today. Do I want to become better, or do I want to become worse? Do I want to do things that are helping me grow, or do I want to do things that are hindering me? We all have the choice. Every single day we wake up. Some days will be better than the others, but every day might not be a good day, but there's a good in every day.
Oh, wow. That's powerful.
Every day that you wake up may not be a good day, but there's a good in every day.
Wow.
Like, I may not have wanted to go into the gym today, but I still went. I may have not wanted to done a podcast, but I still did it.
Wow.
I may have not want to showed up to this obligation or this event to further my life professionally or in development. Or I may have not wanted to meditate today, or I may have not wanted to journal today. Or I may have not want to give myself the best, but I still showed up anyways. That's still a good. You may have the rest of those hours been in your bed the whole time, and maybe the good is just getting up, brushing your teeth, and taking a shower.
Yeah.
You got up, right?
Small steps.
And that's the whole thing with to me, what I want to preach, with the 1%, but I think it's also more or less the confidence thing as well, is that it's just these little steps. For you, it was going out to Soho made you uncomfortable, and all right, I got rejected. I'll come back tomorrow. But you still came back, right?
Yeah.
That was the good. You still came back. Regardless if you got 1 or 2 interviews or you got no interviews, you still came back.
Yeah.
You didn't have to show up. This
It's
is
crazy.
this is in the month in 2024, this is like my 5th, 6th interview already.
Wow.
Already. Still showing up. There's days where you don't want to show up, but you still have to. Because you see this bigger picture. You see the end goal. You see the end product. So there's a good in every day.
How do you stay motivated and like disciplined into your craft?
I don't when I see people talk about motivation, I don't know if motivation is real. Because motivation is so fleeting. Like I could watch a video, I feel motivated for 5 seconds, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Where'd it go?
As an athlete growing up, I talked about this, I think last week or something like that. I would watch, Ray Lewis. I would watch the motivational speakers, the Eric Thomas. I'd feel motivated. I'd wake up, go to work out the next day. But after that, what happens? It's the discipline, though. It's the
Yeah.
habit that you build. For me personally, how I stay motivated is I know that I think that it's the part of that I'm doing all this by myself is knowing that if I don't show up, that end goal will not be there. That I know that by me going to the gym and some people seeing my face and seeing me work hard, they might want to work hard too. It's knowing that, and it took me a while to realize this, but knowing that I have the power and I have the influence for other people to believe in themselves, for them to grow 1% better. And now it's like it's an obligation. Like you have to grow now. You have to become 1% better every day because now you have people looking at you for that.
Wow.
And if you don't, I don't think they'll hate you or they'll try to throw negativity, but it'll be a letdown. And the one thing that I never wanted to do to my younger self is I never want to let him down because he needed 24-year-old Avi meets 15 or 14-year-old Avi. It's like an older brother. That's a mentor.
Yeah.
And I needed that for myself. So that's what helps me stay motivated is knowing that regardless if I feel good or not, I still have to show up because there's other people watching me. There's other people that are inspired by me. And there's other people that look to me for me to be that solid figure. And it's not in a way where it's like depression because I have all this weight or I have all this pressure. No, it actually propels me to be better. I'm one of those people that when my back is against the wall or when the odds are stacked against me, that's when I'm better. And a lot of people say that, but they don't really know what that comes with.
Yeah.
They don't know what that comes with. They don't know what the pressures come with of starting your own personal brand at 21 years old, doing videos in your car and not knowing that your personal brand is now being built. So that's what helps me stay motivated and stay disciplined is knowing that other people are watching. And I've made this Mr. 1%. And it's an obligation now for me to grow 1% better every day.
Wow.
What about you?
To what you said also, like to really take what you said, really it's the same, but to really not give up on myself, knowing that if I give up, I'm only forget about the embarrassment of other people. I'm lying to myself. I'm hurting myself only. And if I give up, now where am I gonna go? I'm going to be miserable in any other job I did because always in the back of my head, I'm knowing that I should have kept going. I should have never quit. So I know I'll never be happy. You can never be happy because you were on your passion for so long. It got a little hard, you stopped. Now you're going to go get another job, but always in the back of your head, it's never going to leave you. It's always going to be there. So that really, just keeps that fire lit. An obligation, like you said, other people watching you. It pushes you.
Yeah.
Maybe you were presented this platform to help you grow. Who knows? Who knows?
The irony of it, you're trying to help other people, but you're helping yourself in the
Yeah.
process. And that's sometimes some of the like when I started to create content, and I know you'll probably feel the same way. I wanted to help myself, so I
Yeah.
made it for myself. Didn't really matter if somebody else saw it. I made it for myself at the same
Yeah.
in the beginning. But then it's once you see the power of influence and you see the love and the positivity, that's like, yo, I love this.
Yeah.
That it's like, wow. Well, what if there's more?
Yeah.
What if I can create a bigger platform for myself?
Somebody commented on my rejection video that I posted on Instagram saying, "Oh, you make it look so easy." I thought in my head, make it look so easy. It's 600 posts of day in and day out, overcoming and facing with so many struggles, not just rejection, but the fear of being like the unknown, like what's going to happen today. Who am I going to run into? Is someone going to reject me? Someone going to smack me? Someone going to curse at me? That could be exciting and fearful at the same time. So like both of us creating our own journey, our own direction, you have to be a little bit crazy also, because we work so hard, and you don't really see the end goal, but you do see it, but you don't see it. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But that's why most people give up. And that's why, if it was easy, everybody would do it, as they say. So,
There was a something I said on one of the podcasts that was supposed to be posted this week, but the files got corrupted. That's always a fun time.
oh,
It was fear is afraid of you too.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fear is afraid of you too. Because you overcome fear. That emotion is not there anymore. That feeling is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Fear wants you to fail. It wants you to not get back up. It's praying and hoping that downfall, you stay down. That one good punch knocks you to the floor and knocks you out, and you don't get back up. But you overcome fear. What's left? There's
Great.
no doubt. There's no uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because if I overcome fear, anything is possible. Yeah, there's unknown, but you know that the known is that I just overcame fear. I overcame myself. I overcame other people's opinions. I overcame society's opinions, somebody else's opinions, friends, family. I overcome fear. The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
That nothing can stop you once you overcome fear.
Yeah. I was saying out loud last week to my family, like, there's no better feeling than walking the streets with your chest up, your head up high, and not caring about what anyone's thinking. Just feeling that I could do it. No one's thinking about me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was feeling on that moment. I was appreciative and grateful that I'm able to be in a position to do this. I always had to walk with my head down. Oh, don't. It's something to really think about.
Yeah.
And to be grateful, to really,
I think I've struggled with that for sure.
Yeah.
But you see all these people that are doing, the I don't want to say the public interviews, but they're doing all these things in public now. And if you've ever noticed when you're in public, so many people are just not even fazed by what you're doing.
No.
I mean, at least I know for myself, if I'm walking in public, I'm not worried about anybody else. I'm worried about where I'm going, what I'm about to do.
People need to hear that more.
Yeah.
People need to hear that more. I try to promote that as much as I can, but it seems to be people are still faced with people thinking about them, but nobody's thinking about you.
But don't you think that's like a self-centered way to think, though? That the world revolves around me, so I'm walking down the street and everybody's looking at me.
I mean, in your head, you could think that way. Like, you could be a little bit ego in your head,
Yeah.
but don't share that ego with other people. Don't come off as an egotistic kind of person. But in your head, you fire yourself up. Say, I'm the best. I'm the best.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah. Because who else would be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Interesting.
Walking the streets every day. Like I said, it's the unknown. Being in the city, New York City, one of the biggest cities in the world, anything could happen. So it's exciting.
Would you live anywhere else? Would you want to live anywhere else?
Miami? Hot. Need some sun. It's too cold out here.
Miami, Miami. I've never been to Miami, but I've heard. I don't know. You hear the social norms about Miami.
Yeah.
Um. So public interviews, you do it with your phone.
Yeah.
No mic.
No mic.
Somebody films you.
I use someone else's phone as audio.
What
One of
is
my friends.
what is that? What has that grind been like for you?
I didn't know any different, you know, till recently where I started seeing other people use other kind of mics and other fancy stuff. But I said, this is where I'm starting, you know, appreciating where I'm starting because I know very soon that things will change. I have to believe that. And if I don't appreciate, you know, starting with just a phone, then how am I going to appreciate starting with the whole production and someone working for me and the microphone and all that? So, and you kind of get known with using the phone instead of a microphone. It's you stick out a little more, but it's just there's something bigger than just the microphone. It's the purpose. It's the why you're doing what you're doing. Most people just do it because they see other people doing it.
Yeah.
It's a trend.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself at 30 years old? I know the say where you see yourself in 5 years. I know you're gonna be you're 24 now.
24.
You're gonna be 25
We're
soon.
the same age.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
I thought you were older.
I turned 25 in September.
My birthday's October,
Oh, okay.
so a month apart.
Where do you see yourself at 30 years old?
Hopefully married. You know, not having like confidence struggles, not having anxiety, not having depression, you know, more or less being present, doing what I love at scale. Like hopefully this confidence heist will be massive then, where it will only be like I could have a book by then. I could have public speaking at different events. I could have my own podcast. I could all that. That's really what I see myself doing forever. I think this is my calling. This is what it is to put confidence to the world.
Yeah.
What about you? Where do you see yourself in the age 30?
I'm not somebody that likes to think ahead, but if I know that with my work ethic, and I've seen a glimpse of what my life can look like and who I can be if I go all in. One of my favorite artists, his name is Russ. And
Love him.
you love Russ?
Yeah.
In one of his songs, he says that I get a glimpse of my potential when I believe in myself. And I would say over in 2024, looking at how much I've been able to do, I feel like I still haven't done shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I still haven't done shit.
That's
like
normal.
I feel like I still haven't even scratched the surface yet. I feel like I'm on my way, but I feel like I haven't even touched what I'm going to reach. But when I get a little glimpse of what I actually can do when I fully execute and fully believe in myself, I see myself at age 30. I don't want to say number one because I think that for me, I'm focused on the long game and I'm focused on decades. So I'm focused on playing the long game. You know, I love chess. So I'm focused on, let me think and let me play strategically in my moves. But let me also understand that it's a long game. I'm not sitting here trying to checkmate you in 2 moves. If I could, then obviously I would. But I'm over here going to focus on the marathon. So by age 30, I see myself having a successful podcast. And in terms of successful, that may be number one. But to me, successful is being able to do this full time. That I could sit back and I could go travel to London, or I could go travel to France, or I can go travel to Cali or Texas and interview somebody that I would love to interview. One of my goals is, selfishly, I want to interview some of the greatest thinkers that we have on this planet. Selfishly. Because I want to ask them questions. But the questions that I know if I want to ask, I know other people want to hear the answers to that.
Yeah.
So being able to do that at a scale where I have the luxury of having my whole production team come with me and let's go to London. Let's go interview Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. Let's go to Cali. Let's interview some of the biggest Hollywood stars. Let's go to New York City. Let's interview Gary Vee. Let's get a riled up
Perspective.
let's get a riled up
Oh.
interview of Gary Vee. To me, that's what I want to do. And I think by age 30, I think that I'll be able to public speak as well, which is something. It's like the podcasting is leading to public speaking.
Yeah.
There's many avenues that I want to the single destination. There's so many avenues that I want to be able to have that lead to that. Podcasting is one of them. And I found love in podcasting and interviewing people and using the best characteristic that I feel like I have is my curiosity.
Mm.
And being able to ask somebody, well, why do you do this? Or why do you do that? Or at this point in your life, what were you feeling? And using and leading with curiosity, but also being able to speak at panels where this is what I did, but it's not even about what I did. It's about to help you. How can I be in service of you? So at 30 years old, I would love to have a successful podcast. I'd love to maybe have a couple, public speaking gigs, panels, maybe together we'll host our own event.
Let's do it.
Mr. Confidence.
We'll plan it from now. Why not?
Ex Mr. 1%. We'll have our own speaking event. And, by that time, I hope that I'm also married. I hope that I have a couple kids.
Yeah.
And I just don't want the motivation. I don't want the inspiration. And I don't want the purpose to leave. Like, I want to still be the same person that I am at 24 years old.
Yeah.
But just a better, more refined version.
Well, that goes back on what you stand for, 1% better every day. If you continue on that, it will lead you to having all that when you're 30, if you never stop.
Yeah. I think if you never stop,
it has to happen.
At some point, everything comes together.
Yeah.
You figure it out. Benjamin Franklin tried to figure out electricity until he figured it out.
Yeah.
They thought he was crazy, and he figured it out.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, you hear all these successful people, Bill Gates, they just never stopped.
Yeah. I heard this thing that people aren't afraid of failure, they're afraid of embarrassment. Yeah. What are people going to think of me when I fail? And that's what stops you. If you just, easier said than done, but if you don't care about the embarrassment, okay, jump on the next one.
Yeah.
There's so many people stuck in a place now where they know they're supposed to take this job to get on their feet, but they're embarrassed to take that side job.
Or the 9 to 5.
Or 9 to 5. Just to get you
to
one
get you
level
where
up.
You need to be.
Yeah. And then you can find something else will come along, but they're embarrassed to do that so that person's controlling your life.
Yeah.
That person's going to control how your family comes and everything.
I hate how some people kind of throw dirt on the 9 to 5. I think that, like me, I'm going to have to get a 9 to 5 to start out.
Yeah.
I don't in a year, unless everything is supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. After college, I'm going to have to get a 9 to 5 to be able to support this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to just all of a sudden go full time. It's not, could it be done? Absolutely. But would I rather be financially comfortable in being able to get better equipment so the quality of it can just skyrocket? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do until you can get done what you have to get done.
Utilize what you have and the opportunities right now and get better.
Yeah.
Who cares about anyone else? They're not going to be with you in the hard times. They're not going to be with you in the winnings. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
But just do what's good for you. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Nike.
David, this has been a pleasure. I have one more question to ask you. What is something that you want to become 1% better in this year?
It sounds cliche. Confidence.
Yeah.
But getting better communicating with people. Just because I feel like if I become better with that will lead me to the public speaking, better interviewer. Yeah, leave with that.
Lovely. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
It's been an hour. It doesn't even feel like it. It feels like we've just been
Getting started.
yeah. Where can the people find you on Instagram?
It's Confidence Heist in all platforms. It's Confidence and Heist.
And your TikTok as well? Same thing?
TikTok, and then YouTube. I post YouTube shorts as well.
Lovely. Hope in another 6 months we'll be able to come back and see where we're at.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on, spending some time with me, getting to know you more, and just having a genuine conversation. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here and to share all this with you.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing support. This is the 1% Podcast. I'm out.